Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. I'm Roy. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Warn Dogs.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator.
How are you, boys?
Up and about. It's a big week.
It's a massive week.
Because did you pop down to the newsagents this morning?
Oh,
yes.
Did I ever?
Yes.
And I pissed myself.
Oh, no. Okay. AFL Record is out now in Victoria, and also it'll be available the rest of the country on the 17th, Thursday the 17th of February, and there's lots of pages of fantasy.
Yes. There's only one page.
Here's the story.
Okay.
People might have seen some stuff over social media leading up to this release of some great shots of us ripped.
We put in
Ripped.
in the leader.
Yeah. So we couldn't actually fly to Melbourne to do our annual photo shoot. No. So instead, the artist went to work, and then all we had to do was actually just send a photo of us with our shirts off.
Yes.
And they just got it exactly right, I think.
It's pretty much right.
Perfect. So they did that, and for our little fantasy fit theme.
Yes.
Then I flick over a couple of pages.
Oh, dear.
Calvinator.
I know.
Uncle Cal.
Take us through what you did for that photo.
Why didn't you get your rig out for that?
I don't understand what happened there.
What? You look 78 years old. You've got a lot of wrinkles.
I'm old anyway. I've got wrinkles. They've nailed that. But
And the
what am I?
greys.
And grey. What am I doing? Am I dancing?
I think you're running.
I don't know.
I'm running.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
It's a nice little tracksuit you've got on.
It's a great little parachute tracksuit.
Where's your
I think I've seen you wear that before, actually.
Where's your head at?
I don't know. I couldn't believe it. I'd like to know.
You usually do, traditionally, our photo shoots very hungover.
Yeah.
So, and you try to do your look, but when you do it and you're hung,
My eyebrows.
it's just a disaster.
Yeah. Oh.
And they nailed that.
I'd like to know which person there did that photo, their little cartoon, and went, yep, that's good. I like that. I'm going to use it.
Looks like you.
Oh, it's shocking.
Oh, it is so funny.
I love it. Anyway, send
that
us your
is going
thoughts.
on my wall at work without a doubt.
I've got a few things loaded up
I bet
in the
you
meme
do.
bank, ready to go. So that's there. Now, the draft kit will be out this week. Won't be possibly while you're listening to this, but check out afl.com.au/fantasy. We'll have that there. 31 pages of bloody draft goodness,
Yeah,
because
goodness
drafts
is
are
right.
all happening, and yeah, it'll help you get going.
It's your best friend either leading up to your draft,
Yep.
prepping for it,
Yep.
or even if you're a last-minute sort of bandit, if you take that, you still will end up with a respectable team.
And you don't have to agree with our
No,
rankings.
no.
That's where you can
What?
get your little pencil out and
Yes.
flick it around.
There's a spot to put little notes and everything.
Because it's a guide, especially because in this day and age,
So
every
much
day
happens.
stuff happens.
Yeah.
But at least you've got a bank of names and you can, flick
And this
around
year we
as
do have
need
a
be.
bonus stat little spreadsheet to download with it. So you can get that on the AFL website as well.
Perfect.
So very handy for you. So yeah, go and print it out. The 31 pages just going to work a bit earlier and get that colour photocopy.
100%. We are coming into draft season, so you do need to get organised. And even if that's your only piece of organisation, do it.
Do it.
Now here's Warnie with breaking news.
All right, bit of news out of the week, as we always have some. First up, basically, there's all these match sims going.
Yeah.
And we're getting little bits and pieces of roles, but also a couple of injury things going on as well. So, Kautumi was down at the Pies one, and he saw that Jordan De Goey left the track early. That was on Saturday. A knock to the ribs, but can't be too bad by the sounds of it.
He'll be fine.
Right, the
Yep.
De Goat.
How big are you guys on goats?
I'm all in. Yep.
All in.
I'm in on the
Yeah,
go.
he's an interesting one. He's
He
a
is.
watch. Because I'm here. There's a fair bit of forward time is the thing. We'll talk forwards later
We will.
Now, Pendles and Dacos, that's the Nick variety, the new one, the cash cow variety that we have. They're rotating between halfback and mid. Now, that's been talked about, and that's what happened in the match sim.
Okay.
That's going to be great. Imagine getting both of those available as defenders later in the season.
Delicious.
Pendlebury will be a top 6 defender.
Yeah, taking kickouts too.
Yeah.
It's exciting to watch. Jordan Roughhead hurt his shoulder and will have surgery on that. So he's going to miss the start of the season, which, well, position-wise is interesting. There might be some names that can float through there. We'll have a little bit of a look at that over these next couple of weeks when we get these scratch matches going on. Very sad news was Ben King doing his ACL. So
have mercy.
he'll miss 12 months there. And then out of the Bombers, Dylan Schule. So he's got a bit of tightness in the groin.
It's a groin relocation, Roy.
He does.
And Stringer's an
That'll
interesting
fix
one
it.
there. So a little bit of, there's been a little bit of talk about some injury there too for him. So his role is going to be super interesting to watch. Like draft thinking.
Yeah.
Like
It's tough.
when he's in the guts,
yeah.
he could be a top 10
Yeah.
forward.
That's how he scores.
Yeah.
His points per minute as a mid
Yeah.
would be through the roof.
Amazing.
It's a very tough one.
The North Melbourne intra-club game. So Horn Francis, people are excited about that, and with a lot of good reason.
I reckon.
So he basically playing forward and mid, so he'll add forward status. You would think
so,
for round
yep.
6. So, and you wouldn't have sold him by then, I don't
No,
reckon.
so he'll hang around
so you're going to have that little bit of niceness with that. But yeah, he's going to be playing round 1.
You just got to
They
pay
played
up
a
for
little
him.
bit of Ducks and Drakes. Saying, he hasn't cemented his spot.
Oh,
in
no,
round one.
get out.
He's a sure thing.
Have a look at the team, Roy.
One of your old boys, Roy, Charlie Combin.
Oh, yes.
Wasn't he like a 170 last year?
Yeah.
Okay, ruck forward.
Yeah, he
for
would've
you?
sat there for
He
it.
was a
190
standout,
stand,
and he's still a 190k. So,
He was a standout.
Yes, a standout. It's going to be interesting to see
Welcome
what
back.
they do. Yeah. It sounds like they're going to definitely go with a 2-ruck setup.
Really?
So Goldie slide down your ranks possibly, but they've got Coleman Jones. They've got Combin. They've got who's the other one? Edwards that they picked up in the mid-season draft.
Yes,
So a few of those guys that probably float through at points. So that'll
Straight
be
out of Combin.
and then Will Brodie over at Fremantle, a bit of a hip injury. So the reports were this
Interesting.
week,
Yes.
but it could. But yeah, so
He's
not
my free
serious.
ride guy.
What's that?
He's my free ride guy.
Yeah, so
At the moment.
Yeah, but 300 and something K.
I know.
Yeah.
Not if he's hurt.
you might make some decisions elsewhere. Like, is Cam Rayner
Yes.
better? We keep seeing those reports.
Nope.
Oh, the reports are...
Yeah.
It's Rowell.
It's a
not
huge
about
sell.
Yeah,
what
I
his
know.
scoring has been in the past. It's just
It's a huge
this
sell.
Rowell. He's under 400k, Cal.
Yeah, okay.
Darcy Tucker in that Freo thing, running in the midfield.
Yeah, that's legit.
He's definitely...
You've been all over that.
I have been. Yeah, you know me, Roy.
Yeah, you've
Pre-season,
been on
mate.
that.
Switched on.
DT, yeah.
so that's some stuff out of the news. There'll be a fair bit coming up now too, because next week we're going to have these practice matches, which is going to be cool.
Yes.
A lot of them are during the day, so I'm going to have to try to work out how to do that at work. But
I'm sure you'll find a way.
They're streamed on KO, so
Okay.
that's going to be really handy to be able to follow them, because I think last year I ended up with a few different passwords and membership things from those streams last year. So now that they're all going to be there on KO, it'll be great to watch, and sources will be everywhere. So anyone who's watching, make sure you're hashtagging AFL Fantasy when you see something going on in those games, because that's very important on Twitter. We'll be having a good look at those as we go through. All right, boys, this is our very special Forwards edition of the podcast.
Tough
for
this year, dog.
It is very
my
tough. I think
goodness.
there's a lot of decisions that we'll be making, and I'm not exactly sure where mine sits at the moment.
No.
This is probably my worst position, or the least likely that I've got, I guess, locked in.
I started out early going those big dogs like Taranto, Duncan. I was like, too good.
Yeah.
Too bigger names, too high ceilings to leave out. But I'm starting to warm to some of those underpriced guys and squeeze maybe one more in by getting the value, who we will talk about in more depth as we go on.
Right, so let's look at the most popular players. So the most popular forward selected, the top of the list there, and the third most selected overall is Elijah Hollands from
a fair call.
Gold Coast. So he's got the mid-forward status, hasn't played yet. So he was pick 7 in the draft, the 2020 draft.
Yep.
Had an ACL that year.
Touted as number one before that.
I have heard you say
because
that.
he can find the pill and he can kick a goal as well. So he's
had some decent numbers.
He deserves to be that number one rank, I think.
So, midfielder forward, so 50% of teams he's in. And the question is then, is he on your field at the moment?
He is for me.
I think he is, yeah.
Well, actually, you revealed your midfield last week.
Yes, this is correct, Dom.
Oh, okay.
So, you know how I love a bit of DPP action?
Yep.
He was the guy I was using as the link. So I had him on my ground in the midfield as my link guy.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So I've got him at F6.
And that's where, realistically, he'll end up for me.
Agree. That's where he is for me at the moment.
What do you think his chances are of playing? I'm pretty confident.
I think he plays.
He had good form in the VFL.
Yeah. I think he definitely plays.
Yeah, so he played one game in the VFL. I think he played 4 games in the VFL, actually. Sorry, I had that written down. He did.
Averaged 18 disposals,
Yes.
3 marks, 4 tackles.
Turn your phone off.
Phone's off,
Jesus,
boys.
that's rude.
It's loud. All right. I'll answer.
Real professional
Yeah,
dog.
here we go.
Hello, Warn Dogs Fantasy Hotline.
Yeah, dog.
Hello?
Who is it, dog?
Who have we got there? Oh, hang on.
Hello?
Oh, hello. Who have I got here? This is Warn Dog.
You got Elijah Hollands. How are you?
Yes!
Your ears burning, mate.
Wow.
We've just been talking about you.
Oh, is that right? What have you been like been spitting?
Well, Warnie's trying to work out how many games you played in the VFL last year, so can you tell him?
I think it was like 3. Was that about right?
Yeah, I played 3 in the back end.
Yeah,
Right,
and
there
it
we
was
go.
like and had 96 fantasy points in the last one there. That was good.
Yeah, it was good to finish. It was good to finish all right.
All right, now you're on the phone. This is pretty amazing, boys. It's like, how does this happen?
Bit starstruck.
It is.
Well, you are, Elijah, the most selected forward. We're talking about forwards today on our fantasy podcast. What an absolute coincidence this
I
is
know.
that you're
It's
giving us a
amazing.
call. Like no one else calls us on the show. So,
Oh, yeah, wow, I can't believe this has happened.
so how are you feeling about being the most selected forward in fantasy? The 3rd overall, actually.
It's quite nerve-wracking, really, considering I haven't played yet.
That's
No,
true.
well, that's right. So that's the big question then. Do you think you'll be there round 1 for us?
Yeah, we need to know this.
You know, you've seen Stewie Jew's whiteboard.
Obviously, I'm hoping so. But, yeah, there's still a fair way till round 1, really. I've been able to build some consistency over summer, but really I haven't been knocking down Drew's door every day asking if I'll be playing. So, look, it's probably still it's a wait and see moment, but I'll be just trying my best to put my hand up at this stage.
Have you been doing any scratch matches?
Yeah, so we've started Matt Sim over the last 2 or 3 weeks, really. So we've had about 3 head-outs of it now, and it starts to build into the proper stuff. So we're next week we'll have about 3 20-minute quarters, and then I think it might even be the week after that we play Port Adelaide in the scratching.
Yeah.
So it's come around pretty quick.
Where have you been playing in those?
I've been training in the midfield group over summer.
Oh,
So
tick.
I've been doing a fair bit of time on the wing, sort of training on the wing, learning off guys like Brandon Ellis, Roy Atkins, and Jeremy Sharp, which has been good. So probably done most of my training on the wing, and then had a little bit of exposure to being on the inside, and then still had some moments at half forward as well. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Have you been lining up for the probables or hopefuls?
the hopefuls at the minute.
Yep.
The hopefuls at the minute, which has been it's been good. So yeah, hopefully if I can just continue to build some consistency in my training, then yeah, we'll see.
We're backing you in, mate. We're
Yeah.
really confident.
Well,
it's good to
50
hear you're up and running.
Yeah, he'll play.
50% of the competition have backed you in. Are they the only ones that are backing you in at the moment?
It's funny you say that, lads, because just this week I was able to sign a contract extension with the footy club.
Yeah! Hey!
Congratulations. That's awesome
Well done,
news.
mate.
You backed in your future for a couple more years up at the Suns.
Yeah, it's good. It's really settling. I've obviously loved my time at the footy club at the minute, so yeah, it was obviously just a no-brainer, and yeah, to get it done nice and early is good also.
Elijah, have you told anyone else that information?
The players found out yesterday,
Right.
but no, I don't think it's actually been properly announced yet.
Are we like,
With a scoop.
hang on, this is what this is.
Now here's Warnie
You boys
with
have a
breaking
turn on.
news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news, all right. Wow.
Actual real breaking news.
This is
for
our
once.
first scoop.
It is. We never get anything.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's good.
Congratulations, mate. This is unreal.
Yeah, no, it actually is. I'm over the moon in a minute. I can't wait to now just get stuck in and play some footy.
Yeah, awesome. No, we're really confident in you, mate. So congratulations for that, and we're fully backing you in. Now, would you mind if we sort of ask a few questions about some of your teammates there?
Get into it, Roy.
Because we've got a few.
Fire away, lads.
First one, okay. Matty Rowell. Now, it's no secret he burst onto the scene and he was pumping out pig numbers in his first couple of games. Injury hasn't been kind to him, and even last year when he came back, he didn't look, himself, what we'd seen in the juniors in his first couple of games. How's he looking moving into this year? Because he's a bargain price at the moment.
Yeah, Rowley's flying. He's one of our hardest trainers at the footy club, so he's always going to get himself right. As you mentioned, he's had a pretty horrid run with injury over his first 2 years, but he's put both of those aside and he's been flying and really burning up the track at the minute, been training really well.
Awesome, well done. What about his mate Noah Anderson?
Yeah, not the same. He's really taking on he's almost acting as a leader at the footy club now. He's obviously only into his third year, but he's also training really well. The boys are following him as well, which is also it's great to see.
Awesome.
So now you've played a little bit of fantasy footy over the years. How have you gone in it in the past?
I'm pretty middle of the pack in terms of the fantasy stuff. I've played most years. I just sort of just can't quite get it right.
Yeah. So our question's going to be...
Same here.
In fantasy draft, where you can only pick one player from each team, you've got Rowell and Anderson sitting in front of you. Who would you pick out of those guys? Putting you under the pump here.
Mate, it couldn't be any more of a flipping coin, really.
Toss it.
Am I allowed to sit on the fence?
Yeah. You have to.
Sit on the fence.
You have to. But Noah, I think he's been talked about as being a real traditional third-year breakout guy, taking his game to the next level. And the fact you're talking about leadership stuff, that makes me feel like that's really in play at the moment. Like, I'm talking 20 points upside potentially.
Agree.
Wow.
Well, he's been super. Hopefully for the footy club's point of view, it's the way we're trying to go. Nos will be able to help influence that even more. He's obviously been a big part of our last couple of years as well, even just as such a young player. So, look, we're obviously hoping for improvement out of all of our boys, but Nos definitely looks like one that could take his game to an even better level this year.
Awesome.
Now, I'm looking at most selected players. We've got yourself, we've got Rowell, and then we've got Jared Witts. Now, he's in about 22% of teams at the moment. How's he travelling?
Yeah, really well. He's a group of 4 knee boys at the minute who are pretty much about to make their way back into things, which is really exciting for them. Witt has been super. He's been itching at the bit to get out there and do as much as he can. Obviously, none of those boys enjoy being in rehab, but Witt is really he's really looking forward to get back out there. He's a lot of those boys are starting to move into full training at the minute, and he looks really good. He's one of the unfortunate things about being in a 12-month rehab is it gives you a really good chance to get fit.
Yeah.
Those boys are all in that boat, and we're just looking forward to them being able to come back out and start playing footy again.
Obviously hard for you to say, but like the timing of his injury would say he won't be right for round one, but a lot of coaches are hopeful and have him sitting in their team at the moment because he is so cheap for how good he is. What would your gut feel be? Surely he won't quite be ready by round one.
Not sure. To be honest, I'm not sure. He could touch and go. The thing with these things is because you still just want to be really cautious with how you're moving. Hopefully, all of those boys are able to tick some boxes over the next few weeks, and it might be a wait and see. But it could easily be something that they might look at and might need an extra week or two. So, for those boys' sake, hopefully they're able to get back and play footy as soon as possible. But it's probably, 5-6 weeks out. It might be a little bit hard to tell at this stage. Yeah,
understandable. Now, say once we're in the middle of the season, how do you see your lineup? Do you get the feeling you guys will run with 2 rucks? Because Witsy's carried a massive workload the last few years. Do you think they'll try to take the pressure off him and maybe play more of a dual ruck setup?
Potentially. I think most clubs tend to do that at the minute. We definitely could look to. We've got the good thing with us is that we've got those boys, the boys who would be giving him a chop out are obviously very good forward options as well with Mark and Levi. So, and even Chris Burgess rucked last year for us. So, hopefully this year Bergen can return to his traditional role. But if need be, he's always there to put his hand up. So. But with those options, we're able to have really good forward targets as well as being able to give Witter a chop out in the ruck. So I don't know. Those boys have also both been training really well. They're obviously new to the footy club, but they've come in and put their hands up straight away. They've obviously both got a fair bit of experience. Levi playing 12, 13 years of footy, and Marb's coming from the Tigers. So they'll both be really good for us.
Last one from me here is Jack Lukosius. He's my boy. I've been in love with him.
He's your boy, isn't he?
He's a gun. He was my son's shout-out player, actually, a couple of years ago before Hugh took that title last year. Well, I'm looking for a new one. You could be that person this year.
Well, that's true.
Elijah. But
God, look out, Elijah.
Now
he's got your phone number too now.
Jack, you had the awful news. You had the awful news last week of Kingy going down with the ACL. So they've talked about Lukosius playing forward. Do you think that's going to be a real thing now?
I think there was a big chance of being a thing before. He's done most of his summer in the forward line, and he's looked really good. It's obviously he got drafted out of the forward line. I think the coaches love the idea of him being able to use his foot skills closer to goal.
Because they're very good.
Or they able to put him through the big sticks himself. So, I think that's a big reality of happening. He's obviously had all that. He's spent some time on the wing and he's played a footy up half back. So, I guess this just adds another string to his bow. Really, he's becoming a 203 centimetre versatile bloke. He's playing all over the field. So
he's a machine.
He is. So. Yeah, unfortunately, with the news of Kingy, he might have a bigger role now. But, I think his versatility allows him to play in a few spots.
Awesome, mate. Well, thanks so much for your insight there. Calvin's been writing his notes down and getting things going on. But we're looking forward to hopefully seeing you on the park in round one. But we'll be catching these practice matches and also the AAMI Community Series game and seeing how you go. And it's a big audition. 50% of coaches have backed you now. That number will increase.
Oh, yeah, we'll see what happens. There's a fair bit on me now with that, so hopefully I can deliver. I also heard that in the terms you boys have been members the last 2 years. Is that right?
Yes, that's true. Yes. Proud, passionate, signed up.
Very proud.
Yeah, so I was just making sure that'll hang around for a third.
Yes, it already has. I think it auto rolled over, so we're definitely in, and we're very excited. Actually, round 21, you're playing here at UTAD Stadium, so we'll be. Calvin wants to be in the middle of the cheer squad. He's quite happy to hold up the banner and get it all happening.
Yeah.
Make that happen.
Make that happen.
And we'll be members for life. If Cal holds up the cheer squad banner.
I'm not holding up the banner.
Yes, you are. Member for life.
Beauty. Thanks, Elijah, and congratulations once again on re-signing at the Gold Coast Suns.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks for having me on.
What an absolute legend.
What a champion.
Now, the thing I'm most impressed about, I've been pretty heartbroken after losing Hugh Greenwood. I was tear up me members. Yeah. But now I'm back on. I got a new boy.
Yes.
And I am very, very confident he's going to be there round one.
100%. He plays.
And he's on our ground.
Agree.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good watch.
And what breaking news.
I know, we got a scoop.
Big
if you
boys.
don't mind.
Can't wait till Mitch Cleary on Channel 7 News tonight goes, and as revealed on the AFL Fantasy podcast.
He's got to say that.
He has to.
He has to say that.
With the traders and their lovable hosts, Roy, Calvin and Warnie.
Anyone who says anything about that news, it's a stolen story as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
How many years have we been doing this?
Can't steal our story.
First break.
16 years.
Yeah. 16-year breakout.
They said would never make it.
All right, so we've talked about the number one selected forward for a little while now.
For a little while we've had a chat,
Let's go down the list. So, Elijah, in 50% of teams. At 42% is Josh Dunkley. Where are we sitting?
That high.
Yeah, it's high. That's a lot.
I love him. I see him there, and it should just be an automatic pick.
So price at 92, and we know what he has done.
Absolute beast. The way he started last year,
yes.
As good as anyone in the game.
Agree.
Obviously, the way he came back, roles changed, carrying that injury still, and his numbers reflected that. So what do we think? Coming off a full preseason, back to what he was at the start of last year?
The question is, his value, if you think that prior to that injury, the shoulder, that's what he can be, because it's a ridiculous value.
And that's what he is.
Yes.
If he's allowed to be, if he's not bevoed, if he's not injured.
He's locked into mine and he will not move.
I like that confidence.
Yes.
So you think he'll be playing that midfield and high half forward role where he gets up anyway?
Agreed. That's exactly what I think he's going to do. And I think he will average 105 minimum.
Where's he at with his contract and stuff? Because remember that...
Yeah, because he was going to go to the Bombers
he was.
this year.
Yeah.
It was going to happen.
Yes.
But, don't know.
Very interesting.
Good question.
Anyway, yeah, I like him too. Always been a fan of Dunks.
Next on the list is Will Kelly, who's a 191k defender forward, so he will be a nice little swing man if he's playing, and I reckon he's a very good chance to be playing.
So do I.
So do I. My point. Yep. So I think he's a good one there in 41% of teams. Then it drops a bit, and this is a bit of a idea with the forwards, I think, is that there aren't, well, there's a couple of locks there if people are going
Get
with
the
those.
blanket out.
Yeah.
Mitch Duncan. So he's priced at 100, but think about what he did at the start of last season.
That was next level.
His average has an 8 in it. So that brings it, when you only play 10 games, an 8 in there brings that down a long way.
His first 10, I think it was his first 10 games, he was averaging something phenomenal,
Yeah.
like over 115.
Yep.
What mids? There's no mids. There's hardly any mids doing that.
He can get the ball in the most germiest fashion. It is beautiful.
He'll take a kick out if he needs to.
Too right he will.
Yeah, so he will be a top 6. Well, we'll get to the rolling 22.
Oh, yes, without
later,
a doubt.
But
yeah.
he is...
It's just whether you pay up for it.
123 average in those first 9 rounds.
It was 123. I underdid him by 10 points nearly.
Yeah.
That's how good he was.
He's not going to play every game.
4 scores over
Definitely
130.
not playing every game.
No.
And he could be a laid out at any moment.
Could be a laid out at any
Plays
time.
for Geelong.
Exactly.
Plays for Geelong.
Right, okay. So next on the list then, after Mitch Duncan, we've got a couple of guys here which could be a coin toss type thing that we get to. And that's Cam Rayner in 26%, Will Brodie in 25%. So you've got Rayner there. He's priced at 396. Have I got my Rain Man on? Oh, yes, I do.
Bargain.
Yeah,
See,
then Will Brodie is a bit cheaper at 347. Am I right? 387.
I'm a strong no on Rayner, right?
Are you?
However, I'm happy to be proven wrong if I see something.
So it's all about the
pre-season
role.
games.
This is the thing. So we don't have numbers that say pick Rayner.
No.
That's the thing. So
He's not.
he's never given us a score that we just get there. We must have him.
The thing in Cow's favour is that he is coming off that injury.
Yep.
So
But he's been right for a while.
I know. How right is right.
Right that he's playing in the midfield in all these match simulations.
This is true.
Like he's in those rotations.
Sources said to me you have to remember that he is coming off a serious injury.
Right.
Okay.
But they, on the flip side, said he's fitter than
And
he's
they're
ever
good
been.
sources.
They are
But they
good
keep
sources.
playing him in there.
I know.
In these match sims. Like, he's a big practice match and AAMI watch.
He is huge.
Agree.
If he's getting
Okay, he can
a
just play
third of the
himself in.
CBAs, he's an absolute lock, I reckon.
Well, so you're basing it on CBAs.
Yeah.
Do you need scores plus CBAs? Because
I'm
he's
gonna
had CBAs before.
I'm
and
going to
he's-
need points.
He's barely hit 50s.
Yeah, agree. I need points.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're in the middle.
No.
You need to touch the ball.
Fair enough.
Will Brodie's been getting a bit of before he got injured, so
Yeah.
he's been in the guts. They're both going to be very
So
interesting.
true.
I
to
think
see.
and then the difference from those two, I reckon job security is going to be the difference for those two. Rayner is a lock
He does
for
not leave
22.
the team.
Agree.
Whereas Brodie, even his role could be sporadic, let alone his spot in the side, because they're going to have they've got a few similar guys, I reckon.
Could you have both of them in your team, or is that too risky?
You could, and where would you put them?
In the
5
forward?
and 6?
Yeah, they have to be.
Because you couldn't go 4 and 5 and then Elijah. That would be
Or
very
could
light.
you?
Or could you? Because you could. There's a lot of value here in the forwards, which we'll get to as we go through this in a bit.
That's an interesting play. It's really pushing the boundaries of
Isn't it?
mid-price.
Yeah.
At the moment, do you have
Madness.
both, one or none?
I've got one.
I've got Brodie.
No,
that's
I've
it.
got them both. Yeah, I do.
Oh, do you?
I've got all three of them.
Yeah.
So they are my
I've got one.
4,
I'm
5,
flip-flopping
6.
between them, but I think Rayner's now just in front, just because Rowell, not like
Okay.
God, they both have if they both come out and look good in pre-season, that would be a lock.
Agree.
Price at 87 is Adam Treloar, who's in 25% of teams.
I don't know where I sit on him.
He's in mine, but I'm not happy about it.
I can't get that vision out of my head when I watched him out here at
Yeah.
Utah Stadium. It wasn't a good vision.
87 is what he's at. He's going to be better than that.
He has to be. He's a 110
He
guy.
averaged 111 in his 5 years at
Yeah.
Collingwood.
He's
He won't play all games either.
no.
But it's Treloar and it's a forward.
And what he can be.
and
And he
it's
was
underpriced.
awesome as well prior to his injury.
He
Yeah.
was. I had him And I was very happy.
So there's a bit of talk this week as well, role for Bont. Bont may play more forward this year. So
he's a jet as a forward. That's why.
He is.
He's awesome.
Where Treloar wasn't really offering much as a forward at all when he was playing forward.
Well played, Treloar.
Yes.
What you got to do.
Yeah. Dusty, Slim Dusty.
See, I like Dusty.
Okay, so he's priced at 81.
81.
Yep.
I think I'm on again.
24%.
Now, he's a 90, right? He's a 90 minimum.
Minimum. Yep. Right, so he's fit.
Yep.
He's got a point to prove.
They're talking about 2017 form, Dusty.
And they're talking midfield 2017 stuff.
Yep.
Who are we to say no to that?
No, and you know you get CBAs.
100% he does, especially if he's talking up playing mid.
Priced at 81, he's cheaper than Treloar. I feel more comfortable with that.
With him than Treloar.
Yeah.
So do I. Definitely role-wise.
People are wrong.
So if he's 2017, Dusty, that was the 114 year.
Yeah. So he could push 100.
Easy. 20 points unders then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who are we to say no to Dusty?
You can't.
A fit Dusty.
He's fit.
Playing mid.
So he's popular, I think, because of the name. So a lot of
agree.
people that
Without
aren't
a
the
doubt.
gun coaches
He's always
may not
been-
be picking him.
Yeah.
Does you know make sense of what I mean there?
Yeah, I
so
do
if
know
he's
what
in
you
24% of teams,
Yeah.
a lot of that are just going, yep, when my brother picks his team, he would pick Dusty because
100%.
he knows who he is.
100%.
Because he doesn't listen to his brother about fantasy football.
No. Good
Like
move.
yours, Calvin.
Good move.
That's smart by them and they outrank you each
Yeah.
year.
No, so I'm a big fan at the moment. I'm getting warmer by the day on
Same.
Dusty.
Eli Smith there is 24 because he's a basement price. However,
always
he's in the
gets
mix
in.
though.
Yeah.
There was a photo that went around on Twitter on the weekend basically showing
How did I miss that?
he was on, they had a picture of the coaches board from their match sim.
Oh, yeah.
And he was
yes.
in a rotation. He had the little red magnet or whatever next to his
Yeah.
name in the midfield rotation.
See, that sauce is
Yeah,
going
that's epic.
above. That is brilliant
That's
sourcing.
outstanding.
Great work,
That's
people.
good sourcing. Josh Rochelle, is that how you say him?
That's
Cal?
how you say
Your
it.
mate
Dog.
from the Crows. So he costs you a little bit more as a rookie because he was a higher draft pick. You'll get him at 280k. If you're picking him, he's on field, but I don't think he's going to be a huge scorer.
No,
No, it's
he
a bit
won't.
too much.
And yeah,
The most expensive player, obviously, is Tim Taranto. 21% of people are on board. Did you see the photos?
I reckon
Yes.
that increased after that photo.
My goodness me. We thought we looked good in the record. Oh, well, not me. But that is ridiculous.
That was He-Man figurine.
Oh, my God. It was amazing.
yeah. So 21% for Timmy T. I just can't do it. But you
No.
could argue that he's underpriced. But there's just too much doubt on the role. I think he's the perfect upgrade target.
Did you see his six-pack?
Yeah, I know. That was
More
probably
than
worth
6.
an extra 10 points a game.
10 pack.
Sam Skinner's there in 21% of teams, so he's a defender forward. He was the Lion. He's now at Port Adelaide, so just monitor him for a position there. Very handy if we get a couple of those defender forwards, like we talked about Will Kelly there. Taron Thomas. Sounds like he's the big dog in their midfield from their match sim.
You been watching any of the match sim highlights?
A little bit.
He is looking comfortable
yeah.
through
Oh,
there.
really?
Yeah, and
Just remind yourself who he's playing against. Right.
I know, but you should have seen him. One thing I liked, he was even just because his work rate was so good. He was pushing right out wide for just little plus sixes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he will be in that midfield. And that role is going to be his. So
So
this is what you could
underpriced.
actually do. So he's priced at 81. So you could go a Dusty, a
Yep.
Taran. You know, those guys down at
Isaac.
that Isaac Heeney, who I can't believe he's not more popular yet. He's in 11% of teams. He's priced at 76.
Yeah, I think I'm doing this.
These could
Yeah, I
be,
don't
instead
know.
of going any of these big dogs.
This is me. This is where I'm at the moment.
All right, let's keep going down the list. Sam DeConning, he's basement price, defender forward as well. Jai Sarong, we'll see whether he's right at the Hawks there, getting a gig. Zak Butters is another one that you can put in that
Yes.
mix as well, priced at 76.
Yes. He's currently in the mix.
He's
for
definitely
the
in the mix.
Rolling
He's
definitely in the
22.
mix.
Is he?
course.
Wow.
Just in the mix.
So if he's in the mix for the rolling 22, then that's got to be very close to being almost a must-have destroyer.
Yeah, I like to have some youngsters training with the group.
Maurice Rioli, he's in there at 12%. Oh, Stephen Canelio's 13%. Where do you think? Because he doesn't get the discount,
No, he doesn't.
So you don't.
but
pick
he's
him.
all words are great about him. Like, where do you rank him draft-wise then, Cogs?
10th.
Like, he's in that... Like, what does he average? 85? to 90, and he surely goes to that. He's been
85.
110 before.
Surely he's 85.
He has to get to 85.
Rowell's obviously
think
a
so.
big part
What's
of
he
it.
priced at?
So he is priced at... Sorry, I'm going to have to do some clicking here. Questions without notice. About 82 is his break even.
God,
He's
that
under
has to-
700k, 695.
So you could float him in there in that mix of those guys.
He's someone that can do 150s as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's Stephen Cornelio.
So Heeney there, I'm big on him. That 11% will increase.
You're wrecking me with him.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to end up with him, and it's all thanks to you.
Yeah, I know.
This is my point. He goes 90 when he's playing as a forward.
Yes.
He went 76 last year.
Yeah,
What was he doing last year then?
yeah, there was some pretty ugly games,
There was.
but he's going to play in the midfield.
Was he in the midfield that 2-week patch where it tricked everyone into getting him
I
again?
forget a big game
He had-
when he kicked bulk goals, though.
I'm looking at his CBAs here. So basically, in the last 4 games, he popped in there a fair bit.
Right.
Okay, and in those scores there,
Did he pop up in there randomly through the...
no, there's no other games he sort of popped up through the year. So in those 4 games there, he's had a couple of 90s. There's still like a 48 in there though.
48?
48.
What the hell did he do that day?
I don't know.
Nothing.
Not touched the footy many times.
Very interesting.
Right, just continue on. We're at 10% here with
Don't go
Jade,
too far, dog. Oh, you won't give me any
Jade
pods
Gresham.
to talk about.
Well, that's what I cut it off about here. So
Jeez.
you're throwing your blanket over a lot of these guys.
You
and
are.
just before we do that, because Cal, this probably doesn't, you've got the Charlie Comben, who's ruck forward, Jacob Edwards ruck forward. People have got them floating around in 9% teams. Charlie Curnow, Roy, before we...
Charlie Curnow.
yes,
Roy?
Charlie Curnow.
Charlie Curnow.
Apparently dominating their match sim
Yeah,
Once again.
yeah.
He's only playing against Carlton.
Asterisk.
with Zak Williams.
But, oh my God, Zach.
So
Pod.
347 he is. Do you put him in that conversation? Like,
How
surely
will he
Will
not
Brodie...
average 70? He's an actual jet.
So Will Brodie and Rayner
yeah.
are in that conversation, about 40, 50k more. You're picking them before Curnow, aren't you?
Are you?
I guess so.
Especially if they're in the middle.
Look, I know guns and rookies is the way to go and stuff, but someone like him, he's best 22
Yep.
and he's 40 points
Unders, yeah.
potentially
Right.
under.
That's where we are. The only last one I'm going to say
30,
is Jordan
I should
DeGoey, whose probably ownership is increasing at this point because I reckon a lot of people were fading because we didn't know what was going on. So he's in 9%. That will be higher later, I reckon. But where are you sitting with that? I'm hearing a bit of forward time.
Yeah.
He's not going to be the midfielder that he was to dominate those scores with. So maybe
Do you
there is
reckon?
So I think
Well,
he'll end
that's
up...
what they're
convinced?
talking about. I'm not convinced, but I wonder if a lot of that's part of how much he's missed because he wasn't allowed at the club for
What
until late.
strength source are you getting this? Is it home brand or is it like a proper?
Oh, these are match sim reports,
Right. From who's writing them?
like reporters.
Yeah, I don't trust their
That's
writing.
No, I
their
don't
job.
trust them.
No.
You
The
fight
goat-
with them, that's why.
The goat will be in the middle. The goat will be in the middle and needs to be in everybody's team. Done.
There you go.
No, he's very much
I trust him.
Yeah. Thanks, Roy.
wearing a Mark Pitnet t-shirt, Calvin.
You know me. That's how I
Trust
roll.
you. All right, so Cal, I didn't get to all of our
You might as
pods.
well have kept going. So
Okay, what have you got?
So you got down to DeGoey, who's
Did
in...
you have him in one of your pods?
No. He's in 9%.
Because your pods, you tell me it's under 5%.
5%. Here's a couple of names for you, Roy.
Points of difference, Calvinator.
Chad Wingard.
Chad
2% of teams.
dominated
Okay.
at the end of the year.
Yeah, last 4 games he went at 115.
Oh,
High CBAs.
Massive.
whoa.
So if he's in there, remember they were trying to get rid of him?
Yeah.
Point to prove. Revenge
Yeah.
season.
But if they're trying to get rid of him,
Oh, you know what Bolts is? Oh, what's his name? Not Bolts, bloody Mitchell's like.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be like, I'll prove that he sucks.
Yeah.
I'll play him forward pocket, won't
Back
get
pocket.
a touch. Yeah.
I like Jack Graham. Especially for draft. So he's in 2% of classic teams. He ended the year going 99 in his last 3. Tom Powell, only 2% of people have jumped on, priced at 68. You're probably not going to do that, though. Interesting one, we've got Butters at 14%, but Connor Rozee's at 3%. He's gone back-to-back years of 68.
yeah,
He's better than that.
he's better than Walsh.
He's better than Welsh.
There you go.
There you go, 1 10-year coming.
Saved you saying it, Roy.
Yeah, thank you.
The other one, right?
People are
The
getting
other
sick of
one,
me saying it.
he's floated in and out of my team, this bloke. And don't,
Oh, here we go.
Daniel Rioli. Okay.
Just because you wrote about Richmond and you were just trying to find someone to talk about because you had content to fill, Cal.
Your season is over before it started.
Please pick him.
He's priced at...
Yes.
Just listen.
That's what I want.
He's priced at 56.
Yep, fair.
Okay. He
58.
ended the year with an average of 78 in his last 5.
Oh, massive.
Why? But that puts him 20 unders.
So we're talking draft here.
And we're saying because Hooley...
Although the ownership percentage is about classic.
They were going when Hooley was out. He's a 15-point better player.
Right.
All I'm saying is put him on the list. Put him on your little watch list.
Cool. Thanks.
Priced at 56.
Yeah, well, he's beating the door down with those numbers.
He will be the next Basher Hooley. You watch.
Let's look at the top end. What do you got, Destroy? Your top 6 forwards. Now, this is interesting because we may not pick any of these in our initial team.
No, we might not. And can you just give me a minute?
What are you trying to find?
No, I've got them. So we will have a couple of them.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. So obviously we've talked about that top-end talent, and it's Taranto at number 1.
Yes.
So it's whether you pay up and go there. The picture says yes.
Yeah.
His ceiling says yes. His role as a midfielder last year says yes. So he was averaging like 115.
Yeah.
Until that debacle of the forward role and et cetera, et cetera. So if he's a midfielder, he is underpriced. Number 2, we've got Duncan. Obviously, what did he average? 123 the first 9 rounds.
Yep.
Have mercy.
I know. It's amazing.
He could arguably be number 1. Then I've got number 3, Dunkley. So I found these 3 pretty easy to rank, to be honest.
And that's what's happening in draft as well. That's where they're going based on that order.
Then it gets interesting. And I'm with you on this one, Cal. I have gone...
Rioli.
To goat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking he was too good as a mid.
Yep.
When he sat forward last year, if you were the new coach watching and you would have watched him as purely as a forward, barely even a threat on goal.
Yep.
Midfield, kicking goals.
Yeah.
Midfield resting forward, kicking goals. He was a better goal kicker as a midfielder. So why on earth you wouldn't play him in there, I don't know.
So Taylor Adams will be their number 1 man.
Yes.
Then what?
Well, I think it's actually, we're at a point where Degoe is actually a better midfielder than Adams.
Whoa.
There, I've said it.
Roy.
Yep, I've said it.
That is one of your stupid... No.
I like stupid comments.
I'm standing by it.
Calvin-like.
Calvin, do
Brilliant.
you agree?
Yeah, of course I
Okay,
do.
sorry, stupid comment. I apologise.
Wait until...
Here, I've got Degoe's...
That comment looks like
Yes.
Calvin's picture in the record.
Hey, Roy, I've got Degoe's CBA percentages here in the last part of the year.
Yep.
86, 61, 68, 83, 81. He was in there more than anybody. He will be one of their main midfielders. He should be one of them, especially with Pendlebury going back.
Yep, he's their number 1
so
man.
there'll be that rotation. So Dacos and Pendles might just... That could be their little red magnets on the board next to each other.
Now, here's where I started to struggle. I found those 4 easy, including the Pies' number 1 mid, the GOAT. That was easy.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
Now it gets messy because there's a lot. I need my eyes to be across a few of these guys, what things are looking like.
Work in progress.
So I've got Treloar there.
Just because of his
5.
name.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep. And what he should have been doing last year.
Then he should be better than Degoe.
He should too, that's fair. But I can't see him ever being better than Degoe again if they're both in the middle. He was a bull last year. You remember. Cast your mind back.
No, I do remember.
I know he's a bit of a joke guy, but he was actually...
Not a joke.
Very good.
The GOAT guy.
Yeah, true. So Treloar then... Now, there are some huge names here.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got names floating around like Taran Thomas.
Still
side bottom. Heeney, Butters, Wingard with the form. Cornelio, Mr. 110 guy. String Trick.
Yep.
Dominated at times. But I have gone with the man on a mission, Dustin Martin.
Love it.
To round it out.
Right.
Now, I haven't had him sitting in there for quite a while.
You got to pick
And
him,
he's
don't
just
you?
gone bang. Yep. What do we say? 20 points unders.
Potentially. It's priced at 81. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So there it is. So it's Taranto, Duncan, Dunkley, Degoe, Treloar, Martin.
Right.
And those other guys.
Who's the next knocking on the door then? Because they'd be so close.
Yeah, it is. So Rowell's an interesting thing because I go still side bottom. He's always that 100 guy.
Should be safe.
Should be.
So he's 88 last year.
Yeah.
He was 114.
Yes. Exactly.
9
That's why I
games in
struggled
2020.
to actually leave him out. I think Butters...
99, 103, 106.
Yep.
He's just...
Yep, exactly right. I think Butters can be great. Heaney should go 90.
Yeah.
Cogs,
so you should be picking him, right?
Cogs 110 guy. What's he doing? 90 max. But I've got Taran next.
Wow, yeah.
He's my first emergency at
I like
7.
it. I like that.
Blanket thrown.
Big time blanket. So at the moment, I can see mid-price madness over picking those.
So you could
top
go
dogs.
4 of those mid-price guys.
Yes.
Well, there's upside in all of them.
There is.
And that's one of the number one rules in the game.
15 points upside.
Agreed.
In premiums. That's big.
It's a good roll in 22, Roy.
Thanks, mate.
All right, we're going to go to a gun coach to tell us all about their forward line and give us some tips in picking these ones, because I don't know if we really got a hell of a lot of answers out of all the stuff that we spoke about there.
No,
we talked a lot.
We love to talk.
Threw good names out there.
Great names.
No idea which ones to pick.
That's it.
So we're getting on the line here, Dave, who won the game back in 2012, 10-year anniversary of winning
Pre-hat.
Wow.
But got a great prize. So, Coach of Skinny Boys, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Warnie. Thanks, boys. Good to be on board.
Well, how has your last 10 years been since you won yourself? What did you win?
What did you win?
Yeah.
Well, I won it's actually good. I won a new car from Toyota.
Yep.
And it was pretty awesome because I had a young family at the time, and the prize was an FA Cruiser, which wasn't quite as good for a young family. So I did have a little chat to them, and they, I thought, can we get a Kluger instead? That would be better suited. And I thought they'd just come back and say, look, you want a free car, mate.
For sure.
Pull your head in.
Pull your head in, Colleen. But they had a little chat, and they had a little chat to sponsors and said, all good. So, I've still got it now, and it's been great.
That's awesome.
Pick a car. Love it.
That's
on
awesome.
you. That is really
well done.
cool.
So that was, back in 2012. And so the game's actually changed a fair bit from there. So I think it was the year after that we went to our 2 trades per week every week. And then the way the game worked too, with our prices changing each week and a few different things there. So how have you adapted in that time as obviously reaching the pinnacle and winning it? What's changed for you?
Yeah, well, I guess back then it was, as you say, the limited trades, and that year I won. It was also Jeddah West joined the competition, so it's just heaps of rookies.
Yep.
And you could pretty much just focus guns and rookies approach, and so that obviously worked that year. The years subsequent to that, I was adjusting the approach a bit, but I was still very focused on just getting that best team by the end of the season, using my rookies, trying not to trade too many people in who I didn't think were going to be the best at the end. So I was tending to finish strong, but I was kind of finding I was, my rankings, I was always top 3,000, but sometimes top 1,000, but never really threatening a car again.
Right. But then that changed actually this year or last year in 2021.
Yeah, and it kind of sort of got there, and I think when Selby won 2 years in a row, I thought, okay,
you're on.
Definitely,
That's doable.
There's always a bit of luck. There's always a bit of luck involved, but clearly he's got a good strategy. Clearly, there's better strategies out there than what I was using, and so I sort of tried to. I think it was 2019. I thought, I'll loosen up my approach a bit. I've always been very wary of any sort of mid prices, so I thought I'll try that. I'll open up a bit more there and use a bit more of the stepping stone approach. But it backfired spectacularly initially. So I had by far my worst season, and but the thing I learned was just you want to playing the break-even game. It's pretty. If I start talking about playing the break-even game when I'm thinking of a trade, it's probably not the right trade because you really want to be getting someone in. You don't know when you're going to when you can get him out. You can't sort of think, I'm going to hang on to this guy for a couple of years, a couple of weeks, and then offload him, and that'll all be fine because other things happen, things get in the way. If you've got too many of those mid-price guys who aren't going anywhere, you're in a world of hurt. So it's very much, I really had to trade in people. There's a role for the stepping stones, but you really just have to be thinking, there's a reason why I think they're going to be better from here on in than the price. And if I get to trade them out in 2 or 3 weeks, great. If it's 7 or 8 weeks, that's okay.
Yeah, I guess it's all about the timing, and that's what the game is all about with that, isn't it? So what did you do then last year? Because you've got a hat on your head now.
Yeah. Proud owner of a hat.
What number's sitting on there?
I literally have it on my head now.
Epic. I would too if I had one.
So last year, so I think the year after that year, then I managed to get, I think, 400. And last year, and sort of the progress continued. And it was really just really focusing on, I think, using those stepping stones, but really when I thought they were the right players to use, when I thought there's a reason for it. This guy's, moved into more of an inside role, an injury here has opened up something. So really just making sure that there was a reason why I thought this guy was going to outperform for a period, and jumping on there. And then I think it's, other than that, it's still been the essentials of getting the right people. I mean, somebody helped me last year was just getting Jack Steele at the right time. And after a couple of weeks, I realised that I wasn't getting one Jack Steele. I was getting 2 Jack Steels.
100%.
Heard someone say that before.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's trademark Calvin. But really looking for people with different price, but they're people that you want at the end of the season, or people that you're happy to get for a period of time and then jumping on. And so, but I avoided people like, Taylor Walker came out. Obviously, he had a really big start to the season, but just, we know inherently he's a key forward. He's going to be up and down. He's not going to sustain this. So I just didn't want to jump anyone like that. But obviously there's people who have value. And I was happy with the pick, then, write him out.
Right. So what number is sitting on that hat at the moment next to you, or on your head?
Well, the hat's got number 19 on it.
Nice.
That's impressive.
That's a good hat.
So it's a good hat, yeah. So top 20 hat. It was good. So it was exciting last year. Just the second half of the year, it really was coming up each week, but it wasn't quite close enough to the top of the ladder.
That's all right, but it's a very good effort, and I'm sure you're getting ready for this season, and you've put in a big pre-season. So we've been talking forwards today, and we're going to get you to reveal what your current forward line looks like. So let's go through it. The forwards of Skinny Boys 2022.
Okay. So F1, I've got Mitch Duncan.
Right.
Thinking there, he's a bit of a gift in the forward line. And I think, he's averaged 100 plus for, I think, the last 5 years. So I think he's definitely he's definitely in the top 6 and really top few. So I do think he's slightly undervalued. He was absolutely smashing it last year before he got injuries, and that included an 8. And he came back okay in the final. So I think he's pretty good to be a good high scorer, start the season well.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the guys I'm talking about in the forward line, there's risks, and for him it's really the injury. So again, pre-season, just going to be watching to see if it's all looking good to start the season, because he's had a lot of injury issues. Also just watching, if Chris Scott starts talking about faster ball movement or something, that'll hurt someone like Mitch Duncan. So watching him, but
F2, what have we got there?
F2, Josh Dunkley, he's one of my favourites. Because as we know, again, he's someone else started last season, and when he gets it right, he generally finds a way to be affordable somehow, because whether he gets in playing ruck for a while, or gets coming back from injury last year, he's he has got cheap again. I think he's in low 90s, priced at low 90s. But his ceiling, he can be like a top 8 mid, let alone a top 6 forward.
That's true.
And he doesn't need huge centre bounces to do it. He can still play high half forward and then just go into midfield. So huge potential, and at good value. The risk of him, there's a lot of mouths to feed at the Bulldogs with Treloar in there now as well. So just, again, watching Rowell in the pre-season as Bevo sort of swings and makes around, and that's, so again, that's another watch there, but I think he's got so much potential, reasonably priced. I don't think you're going to go too far wrong.
Beauty. F3?
F3, okay. this is where it could go wrong.
Yeah. This is
Jordan De Goey.
Yeah.
Cow's keen.
Goat.
So end of last season, it's like, oh yeah, he's just a lock. You know, classic case. You know, slow, you know, underpriced from the first half of the season, and you know, he was having a bit of debacle. Second half, we saw what we could do. Definitely a top 6 forward. But again, there's risk with him. Like he was a lock, but obviously had off-season issues. There's a new coach there, so his role may be changed by that because he is a good forward. He's just had an injury scare, I think, yesterday. So I'm watching him very closely. He's definitely got potential. Could be a really good pick. You can just get start of the season and straight, you know, underpriced, and you can have him all the way through the season. But there's a few things there. So again, watching that pretty closely.
Yeah.
I like that. I reckon that's a great pick. All right, what about your F4?
F4, Taron Thomas. He's another one who's another classic case of he's playing forward, moved into midfield late last year, and with that role, just had a big bump in scoring. Looked good in there, so I think, you know, the team will be happy having him there. So again, underpriced, but also got potential to be a keeper for the year. Again, the cautions are just the role. I think Hugh Greenwood arriving might hurt him a bit. I think Jed Anderson, Ben Cunnington missing helps him. But it's just, because he's going to be a dangerous forward as well, which is watching the mouths. But I think, you know, he looks like he's tracking well so far, so pretty keen on him.
It's massive so far, and I like it because they're also justifiable. Really interested to see who you're going next.
Okay, well, next is a bit of a burn man from the past, and to the point that he has been just disrespected by some members of fantasy media. And I'm talking about Isaac Heeney here.
No disrespect from the Warn Dog.
Warn Dog lover.
Number one ticket holder.
Yeah. Well, I'm on board, Warnie. I think he's obviously he comes with risk. So I mean, his story, as we know, I think on average of 92 in his third year, and then he sort of stalled a bit because he had to play forward, and then he's had the injury riddle a couple of years, so he's sort of cheap. He's priced in mid-70s. But, yeah, we know Horse likes to make his players wait before they get a chance in midfield, which we saw Mills do it eventually. I'm sure Tom Mitchell, if he hung around there, would have eventually got to go in there. But yeah, now coach is talking about him going in there. He's talking about going in the midfield. He sounds like he's in good nick.
It's time.
It's time. I think it's time. So it's a risk, but I think it's a risk worth taking. Price at 76, you're not going to go too far wrong.
That's a pretty packed forward line you've got there with Heeney sitting at F5.
You've got 5 guys that could potentially be in those top half a dozen or so players at the end of the year. So it's a nice start with that, obviously with some upside, but you are still spending a bit of coin there. So who comes in at F6?
Yeah, well, definitely. Well, F6, I guess, comes in, I guess, a 190k rookie, Elijah Hollands. He was a high draft pick from a couple of years ago. But he's cheap now because he missed. Well, I think he missed the end of his pre-rookie year and most of last year with an ACL. So he's cheap. He's got high potential. So he'd be a fantastic F6 if he's available. But yeah, we'll have to see. I often try and base my team around start with the rookies who's available, and obviously we don't have good visibility of that yet, and that sort of will tweak things around. But at this stage, it looks a bit more like the midfield's going to have more rookies available. So I've kind of gone a bit deeper in the forward line, a bit shallower in the midfield. Right.
So that was my next question. Basically, what does the rest of your side look like? Because that we're not going to go through them, but that's where you've come up essentially going, get these value guys in the forward line, but all top-end value guys that are going to be in that mix to be the best, and then go lighter in the other lines. And it sounds like midfield's where you'll try to get, 3 rookies on field at least, do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking 3 rookies and then maybe a mid-pricer or 2 there.
Yep.
So that's I think the other thing is like with the forwards and same with the defenders, often you're not paying huge. You get like a top 6 forward or something. You're not necessarily paying huge coin. In the midfield you are, and so you can sort of get close to these guys that you think you might be able to keep for the rest of the season, and in the midfield, as you get a bit of cash, then you can actually upgrade to the big boys.
It's a good call.
Nice.
I like it.
Well, it's good. I love it. Your forward line is looking sensational there, and it's something I think we probably aspire to have a look at what that is, and also aspire to have a hat on our heads or even drive around in a nice Toyota would be very good as well. But thanks, Dave, for joining us. Last couple of tips when you're picking your forwards. What are things we might look at in the AAMI Community Series and the practice matches coming up when we're making our decisions here with these guys that we can pick in the forward line?
Yeah, well, I guess in line with the guys I've sort of talked about there, and there's other guys who are sort of in a similar boat. You want to be seeing who's getting that move into the midfield, playing well and getting that position change, especially players who've changed clubs. And what the coaches are saying, people are saying. I mean, they can be a bit misleading, so sometimes you got to pair that with what was happening late last season as well. You feel a bit more secure if they're actually starting to do it late last season too. But yeah, really that's the key thing. And then the other thing is like legals and limited pre-seasons. It's you would be more cautious about a player if we've got some of those. But equally, if there's some injuries to some other players in a certain team, that's going to give opportunity to someone you're interested in. That's the flip side of the coin.
That's right. All right, mate. Thanks for joining us, and good luck this year.
Thank you very much. See you, boys.
See you, mate.
All right, big thanks to Dave there, legend, and, well, he's a very good coach. He worked out a bit after winning it in a previous existence of the game, and it's changed, but then was still able to get himself a hat last year.
Lots of big names in his forward line. No Dusty, though.
No Dusty.
No Dusty.
Very interesting.
All right. Interesting that Heeney's there, though.
Yes.
So don't forget you can catch our podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and all over afl.com.au. Head to afl.com.au/fantasy, and you'll be able to find plenty of content, like we said, including our draft kit that's coming out. But if you do listen to us on Apple Podcasts, you can leave a review.
Got to leave a review.
We've got 3 this week.
Yes.
That's big for us.
So from Phil,
hopefully
love
positive.
Love it.
Ooh.
In what has been a pretty difficult couple of years with a fair bit of uncertainty around, one thing you can always count on is that Warnie, Roy and Kapar will give you a good laugh and put a smile on your face for an hour a week. Cheers for the entertainment and fantasy chat. Can't recommend this show highly enough. Excellent.
Thanks, man. We focused on that.
Yep.
Then Glenza.
We tried to be better.
We did.
Great potty with a good mix of humour, knowledge and whispers. Keep up the awesome show, boys.
That's a good review.
Sauce will be happy with that.
Yeah, he would.
Got a mention there.
Miguel, 2000. Wonderful experience. Came by for dinner on Sunday night and it was a wonderful night. Big highlight was the Mongolian beef, while the kids loved the fried rice. Staff were extremely friendly and the food came out quickly. Highly recommended.
Yes! Our little side project.
That's great.
It's working.
It's a review on our podcast feed. Make sure, you can go and do that. And if you're on Spotify, you can click those little 5 stars. And it does help us climb up the rankings so other people can hear about it and get involved with fantasy footy, because that is only good for the game. All right, boys, we have a couple of questions to get through. And as soon as I can find that button, geez.
Hit it.
Have I put you in charge of this, Calvin?
Nah, I don't get anything.
No, here it is.
Got a question for the traders? Tweet the boys at AFL Fantasy or head to facebook.com/AFL Fantasy official.
All right, now, Ryan wants to know this one. Wingard, is he a good point of difference or a trap with a new coach?
Cow, you're the point of difference king.
Well, I was. Well, what is he? 2% of teams. It's a no.
It's definitely a point of difference.
It's a no.
115 in that run home.
Yeah, he did. And a lot of CBAs in that.
So what's he at about 90, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he did make Roy's roll in 22.
He
wasn't even in your mentions, or did you just forget him?
I think I apologised to him.
Did you? Right.
Yeah. But it's the Sam Mitchell thing that worries me, especially he tried to flog him off in the draft.
So he's priced at 88.
Trade period, sorry.
I just don't think he could, especially when a guy like Dusty, Taran, those guys are even cheaper.
So Callum's got this question. Cogs, does he get midfield time due to Taranto playing forward, or is it the other way around? So in these first 5 weeks, we've talked about a bit there, Toby Green's out.
Yep.
Timmy T. Sounds like he's going to be playing some forward time. He's the one.
100%
he's
going to play some forward time.
So does Cogs do that? Cogs has been talked about all week as well, how fit he is as well.
Yep.
I don't know is my answer to that.
No, and I think we just need to monitor that over the AAMI series because they are going to full-on try that out and how that's going to look. Taranto is a big cross next to his name at this point. However, in draft, you can go early with him because he will be there and he'll be the number one forward.
Yeah.
And you've got him all.
And could be by a few points too.
He
Could
might-
be half a dozen points at least.
Yeah.
I
He
reckon.
could put a gap.
He might start slow,
Yeah.
but then bang.
Finn, is Dan Rioli an option?
Oh no.
Yes, Dan Rioli is an option.
You are being
Ben asked
really
that one
big
as well.
and bullish on him.
Yes.
You have to pick him if you're going to do this to people. You can't send them out there by themselves.
He could be my Ben McElroy of last year.
Okay.
But all I'm saying is he's better when there's no Hooley. He could average in the 80s. He could have the Hooley role.
You've been passionately selling.
I'm just noting.
Okay, Cal, this is one then. One of your Tiger boys. Jack Graham.
Yes.
What can he do if he's getting that midfield clock?
He can be good.
He can.
He can be very good.
Yep.
Tackling machine. What have I got there?
He's a top 20 forward.
Yeah, he ended the year going 99 in his last three. So, and that's because he was getting some CBAs. So he's a watch, but it's not, no one that you would actually start with in
Tigers
classic.
are just tricky as well.
They are.
Because they just don't score.
No.
He
They
can have
to change something. This
He
year.
can have big games.
He can.
He can have big
He's
games.
a good player.
You'd probably bump him up your draft though, but no.
All right, Dylan wants to know, when will Calvin and Roy board the Heeney train?
I'm starting to jog after it.
Yeah, I think I am.
Contemplating grabbing.
It's getting faster, though. You're going to have to run pretty quick to get on it.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Although its price doesn't change all pre-season.
I've
so
noticed.
It's a bad analogy, I think.
I've noticed the train.
Yeah.
I've seen it there, and I was like, "Oh, that's the train. That's the one that
the old Heen.
the Heen train. That's the
Again.
one that Warnie always talks about." I haven't yet touched it or started to walk towards it.
I feel like it is fraught with danger,
Yes.
as we all know.
Too right
and
it is.
I will succumb to it. I will be on the train, and by round 3, I will be jumping off head first.
You know
Don't
what
care
else-
where I land.
You know what else it'll be? All right, boys, go around the grounds. You're -3 this week. Oh, bloody Heeney. I'm going to give it to Heeney again.
And then you'll be like, I don't, you can't give it to him anymore.
Yeah.
You picked him.
Yeah.
You knew it. Oh, no, I'm not getting him. I'm off.
Yeah.
Heeney or Thomas?
Thomas.
Thomas averages more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, does he?
I don't know about that.
No, I don't think he does.
That is hard.
If
You know,
we...
Kane Corns has Heeney as his Brownlow Smoky.
Kane's lost the plot.
Does that make you more bullish? Or?
Can you tell me something? What's Kane's comparison?
Kane...
Rosie?
Kane's not
And Sam
on
White.
Play
the
on.
train. He's fully
We
embraced.
don't even talk about Kane's prediction.
No.
Peter wants to know Cogs or Tara and Thomas?
Taran is
That's-
safer.
that's
I cannot
Taran.
believe we're really saying
I know.
that,
Taran is
but it's
safer.
much safer.
Yeah.
All right. Can you go without Duncan and Taranto to start?
Yes, you
We've
can.
had this conversation. a
Yep, and today I've thought yes. I've
So
just
who
gone,
might your F1 be? Dunkley?
yes,
Yep.
someone like that.
I'm on Mitch Duncan still. I'm still on that train.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Duncan's not written off, but I don't think you have to have him
No.
as much as what I felt like a bit earlier.
Yeah, agree. It was pretty exciting when he got forward status.
100%.
But
The
if he then
question
can
was-
go at that 120.
The question
Yeah.
was, can you? And I think yes,
Yes.
you can. Is it wrong to? Not necessarily. Those other
Mate, he could-
they're jets, like they're guns.
If he comes out in the first few weeks, Mitch Duncan, with a couple of 130s, 140s,
It's-
he has games. He had games
borderline
last
likely.
year where he has 13-plus marks.
Yes.
He can fleabag
He's
it
very
up.
good at fantasy football.
He is.
They reckon they're going to try to not do that, aren't they, this year? They're
Move it
actually going to
faster.
try to kick a few goals and stuff, but
Yeah, okay.
I
All
don't
right.
know.
I'm going to try some different strategy.
You think so?
Will, are Butters and Heeney realistic options? Yes.
Yep, they both actually are.
And then the Butters one there from Jack is basically, is Butters going to play more mid-time rather than the forward line?
I think yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Agreed. Butters is priced at 76.
Yeah, and they popped him in the midfield for a game last year. He racked up,
Yep.
and he had a nice 100 in it too. So he can do it, and I think he will do it this year. Yeah.
Aiden wants to know max of one rookie in the on field in the forward line.
Well, it looks like there's so much value there that it's nearly forcing our hand, and by value I mean underpriced premiums.
Yep.
Yep.
But then that next level of underpriced that we've already talked about, like Rayner,
Yeah.
and stuff like
Brodie.
that. Yes.
Curnow. Agree. I think it's only one rookie on
Finn
your...
McGuinness is another one that could be in the mix of that
That's
stuff.
a very good point.
Yeah, he's real cheap.
He deserves to be in that
He'll be
conversation.
worth chatting about, I reckon, at some point.
100%.
All right. Let's go. Sorry. I should have actually filtered these. Now, Laddams for Odin. Is he an option?
Nah. There's just too many others.
There is.
Yeah.
There may have been a year where that
Hickey and-
would
yeah.
be worth looking at, but no, not this year.
Because he's just saying here, it makes him feel better having someone like Bruce or Draper at R2 because it is a dual position ruck forward
Yeah.
that Laddams is.
Yeah, no. I don't think so.
It's just
I
tough.
just think there's too many others that bump him.
Where do you sit, Roy, with Draper?
Not an option.
Really?
No.
Priced at 57.
I know, and I think he will do those. He'll still do 57s.
Okay.
From time to time.
But as a
I know
basement.
what his potential
Floor
is
for
on
him,
the
I
flip
think.
side, but it's just, I can see him pumping those games out.
Okay. Yep.
Why, where are you?
Well, I wrote about him the other day, and I thought he could easily be minimum of 75,
Yeah. Yeah.
which puts him nearly 20 unders.
Yeah, that's true.
He's their only ruckman they've got.
Yeah. No, that's very fair. He should be. So what's he priced at?
He's priced at 57.
Yeah. Well, yes, he is well under.
He's well under.
Yeah.
Bumped up in your draft, but I'm with you. It's yeah.
I've seen him dominate and I've seen him stink. And I
He had 120 in the elimination final.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Andrew, g'day legend, Scooter Boy here.
Scooter
remember he
Boy.
crashed his scooter,
Oh, yeah.
left it at the dairy. Okay, thoughts on your best F6 options. Now, he's basically saying a mid-pricer versus a rookie. So could you go and he's used examples here of Cockatoo and Rochelle.
Cockatoo played well the other
Yeah.
day.
Was he half back? Is that what he was doing,
might have
maybe?
been.
I don't know.
Yeah, but he was playing well.
And he's very cheap,
He is.
Calvin.
Cal, you talked about him a while
cheap.
back, actually.
The Cockatoo.
Yeah.
I think you guys laughed at me.
I did.
339K.
He's in that mix of that
He's
group
in
as
that
well,
little
in
group
that
as well.
300K group.
The problem is with
we
someone-
need to limit what we're doing.
We do. A guy like
Area.
him, though, who is injury prone.
Yeah.
Okay. If he gets injured, what are you going to do?
You're going to go down the rookie that you didn't get, I reckon.
Yeah, you're going to. Yeah.
But then there's a few other options in that little mix.
Yep.
But it can screw you over.
Look, he's 25. He's never strung enough together.
This is his first full preseason.
It's amazing.
And he's got through it all.
Yeah.
And playing well in the scratch.
Put him on the list.
Yeah.
He's a watch list only.
Okay, this is going to be, as every year for me,
Yeah.
the preseason games will pick my ugly team that I start with because he'll come out and dominate. He's in if he does.
Yeah.
Because he's on the watch list.
This is Roy's burner account here from Mark. Why are people liking Rayner? Never shown any sort of fantasy game, no ceiling, coming off knee reconstruction. I think it would take a lot more. Anyway, it'd take a bit for him to hit 70.
Yeah.
Curnow is a way better option. He's gone well over 70 every year if he's fit.
Look,
You're right, mate.
Rayner's got a lot of flags.
He does.
He's got a lot of flags.
Rayner, like,
You don't get to 300, mid 300 price range without a flag. Let's put it that way.
Well, we get 30% discount.
Yeah.
Getting
More we talk about Rayner, the stronger I am on a no.
he just,
It's about roll.
I know it is, but even when he was playing his other role, he should have been able to average more than 50.
Mate, he was scoring 30s.
He was.
It's a no. And I'm also going to say it's a no on Cockatoo as well.
But you're a yes on Curnow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Rightio, I think that's got us there. John wants to know, do I remove Heeney from my never again list?
Yes, back off.
You
it.
can remove him. Doesn't mean you have to pick him, but I don't think he can be on there anymore.
He's off. But
Top 6.
does he deserve to be off? It remains to be seen. Oh, the Heen.
No,
It's a headache you don't need.
he will get a lot of negative threes from us on our podcast.
You're saying us.
Well,
He's
gonna
on the
do a
watch
cow.
list.
I'm starting to walk towards the train.
This is a dangerous train.
It's a horrible train.
Last one
track
here.
I don't need people like that in
No,
my
you
team.
don't.
I don't need him.
No, you don't.
I don't need that.
The stress of it, the sleep.
Oh, I prefer Dusty there.
Yeah.
He's cooler
Yeah,
and he's better.
he is.
Big Red, bring back Schofield. even though he was clearly on the cans, he was gold.
Yeah,
he was very good.
He
If
was
you haven't
awesome.
listened to that, we've got our coach's corner from
good.
last week. Check out that from Will Schofield. Very entertaining guy,
was.
and you can catch all of his podcasting in his Backchat podcast.
He's
which
a
is
funny
very
dude.
fun too.
Funny dude.
Good insight too.
Yes.
Good bands, good insight.
Insight into picking a first rounder in
Yeah, he claimed that one.
He stuffed
Sean
up.
Darcy.
He stuffed it.
Which you can find in the draft kit, which is out this week, so make sure you grab that. And also grab your AFL record. Pretty excited about that coming out. And give us whatever you think about Calvin's little pick.
No, go easy on me. Firstly,
Cow.
Firstly,
Uncle Cow.
I didn't
the
pick it.
78-year-old bloody.
Yeah, it's a cartoon, right? I didn't pose for that. Yes, I'm old, right? I get that, but they didn't need to bloody rub it in. That's just torture.
I can't believe you didn't.
They got
ask him
Roy and
to
I
change
spot
it.
on in it all.
They know
They
it
got
us.
you spot on
It's
as
a
well.
national magazine, dog. It's going out publicly.
It
Nationally
will be on
even.
stands. People will stand there and flick through it. They will see that. A lot of eyes will see that picture.
Oh, just go kind to me, please, people.
I'm disappointed they didn't put it on the front cover.
Oh, imagine.
That would have been good.
You-
It would have been good.
I can't wait for the feedback.
God.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. See ya.